So today we're making a sock polar bear, and we've got our materials: one pair of socks with the patterns pre-sewn, the instructions, and we've got some stuffing, threads, needles, embroidery thread, buttons, and felt, all of which can be found in the Make Your Own Sock Polar Bear kits from Operation Sock Monkey. So the first step is to take sock number 1 and cut right between the green lines, avoiding the seams, just above. So you have separation, and these will become the legs. And you're going to take and turn the sock right side out, starting with the body. And the next step is to stuff through the opening. So next part of the process is to close the opening now that you've stuffed your bear to the desired firmness. So for this we're going to use a whip stitch. So you double strand the thread, set up your needle, tying a knot at the end, and then starting at one end of the opening. So the next part of the process, now that you've got sock number 1 stuffed and all sewn up, is to start working with sock number 2. So we're going to take and just cut off the extra bit here. And then as we did with sock number 1, cut between the green lines, starting from the top of the sock, and coming to just beyond the stitched lines. And then you're gonna cut right straight across. And these will be the arms of the polar bear. So we turn these right side out. So the next step will be to sew on the arms. So you want to make sure you have a nice clean edge on the arms so you can tuck in that rough edge and make a nice little lip. And then placing it on the body where you think it might go, about halfway between the leg and the top. And beginning on make sure the seam is facing down towards the legs. And then once again, using a whip stitch, we attach the arm to the body. So now that you've got the arms sewn on, it's really starting to look like more of a creature. And the next step will be to sew on the mouth or the snout. So for this we're going to take the bottom half of the sock, or the toe, and using the scissors just cutting around the outside of the green stitched line again. So you have sort of a snout shape. And then you're going to take your scissors and just cut along the tip of what used to be the toe of the sock. opening this up. And then turning it right side out. And stuffing it. Once you have it stuffed, you're going to tuck in the rough edge once again, make a nice flat surface, and then placing it on the top of the body. This will become the face. So you can try and just hold it in place as you sew, or if you prefer, you can use pins to pin around so that it'll be held in place while you sew around. And then taking your needle and threads, and once again try and start right on the seam. Make sure the seams are kind of where the sides of the face will be. And you're just going to whip stitch around the edge to attach the snout to the face. Sewn the snout on, it's definitely looking more bear-like, and we will complete the creature with the ears. So you'll take the last part of the sock that's still sewn, and you're going to cut out the ears, once again cutting around the outside of the green stitched lines, and then cutting open along the flat part of the ear. Turn that right side out. Put a little bit of stuffing in. And then folding the rough edge over. Placing this on top of the bear. So you can see there's kind of a seam from the toe of the sock, and you can use that as a guide, placing the ear right on that seam. So the next step, after you've got your ears sewn on, is to sew on the eyes. So you can use buttons or felt. I generally find that buttons are a little bit better for the polar bear. And so you want to place it sort of just above the top of the muzzle, just below the ear. And then you just sew it on. So once you have the eyes sewn on, you can move on to the nose. So that you want to take the triangle of felt and just place it right at the tip of the muzzle, with the top of the triangle pointing down. And then you can just start on one corner. Oh. That same whip stitch. So now that you've got a face coming together, we will work with the tail. So you can take the leftover piece of sock and just cut out sort of a tail shape. Like so. And then that you can attach onto the back using that same whip stitch. So the final step in the polar bear process is to add the mouth. So for that, you're going to take the embroidery thread that you find in your kit, and you'll need an embroidery needle, which is not included in the kit, but you should be able to find at your local dollar store or craft supply store. So you thread that up, you want a single strand, and then you're going to go in kind of under the felt that can be hidden and come out. So you want to hide that knot. Ooh. So for this we'll be using a stem stitch, embroidery stitch. So you insert the needle and then you come back and come right up through the thread. And again, taking a stitch and then coming back. You can think about making sort of a J shape. Carry that almost all the way back up to the seam on the muzzle. And then taking it back down in, and you can bring the needle out again on that first line, straight down from the point of the triangle. And then just take it around in the opposite direction. So once you've sewn the two sides of the J, backwards J and forwards J for the mouth, you can finish off the embroidery stitching by going back in the last stitch. And then again, you want to come in somewhere hidden. So somewhere next to the nose is good. And then tie a nice knot here. And then you can go back in under the felt and pull it through, just to hide that knot. And then trimming the thread, and voila! You have your polar bear.